What's up guys, Shawnthebro here, and we're back for another episode of these programming tutorials. In today's episode we are going to be explaining what Rollback Netcode is, why it's useful, and what we're going to need to do to implement it in something like Unreal Engine. Rollback netcode is typically used for fighting games, but it is a type of netcode or networking where predictions are made to keep animations or actions consistent and flowing instead of delaying the game if lag occurs. So typically when we're playing a game, I could do something like walking backward. Very simple action. However, if there's lag, that means the packets are taking longer to be received than what we expect or what we're working off of. And so the game doesn't really have the information it needs to know that the character is still walking backward. And this could go for anything. It could be for jumping, falling, using an attack, adding inputs to the buffer, losing health, any of these things. I'm sure you've seen this. If you've seen lag, it can do many different things. With rollback, it makes a prediction based on the current state of the character or the current state of the match, and it tries to keep doing that. So if it is correct, it doesn't have to roll back. Good example here. If I'm walking forward into my character, I'm in my walking forward animation. If I were to lag right now, the game would not know that we're still walking forward, but we could make an educated guess that we're still walking forward. So with delay-based networking, which is what a lot of fighting games use, if I were to lag at this moment, the whole game would pause, and it would wait for all the information to get caught up until it continues. And that leads to a pretty bad experience. It takes you out of the game, it takes away your focus. It makes it hard to predict when you're going to be able to control your character again. So we have a cheat in our fighting game that can pretty much demonstrate this perfectly. So let's say we're using a projectile like this one, so I have some time, and we call cheat freeze game. What this does internally is just setting the global time dilation to 0, so it's not ticking. But if we were in delay-based networking online and we lagged, this is the result we would have. And then it would come back a couple seconds later, and then it might do it again, depending on how bad the connection is. That is not a good experience, or often it's not. If the connections are both good, strong, and similar, then you probably won't see issues and it works fine. However, plenty of times you're going to run into issues where your connection strength isn't equivalent or it's not good for one or both parties. And instead of freezing the game, what we could do is simulate what we expect to happen. Again, with the moving forward example, we could keep playing the moving forward animation. Then when the data comes in, if we find that the player had stopped walking or used an attack, we can quickly roll back to the expected point. So we could skip a few frames of the attack animation to line up with where it should be right now, assuming that there was no lag. Or if they stopped walking, we'll just cut to the idle animation immediately, matching where it should be. And these are two very specific examples, but anything that can be predicted like that will work with rollback. And it will make it a very smooth experience where, if anything, a few frames will be lost, but most people won't even notice it. If you do notice it, it's probably still a much nicer experience than lagging and waiting for the game to unpause itself in an online match. To make it happen the way I just mentioned, we need to be able to determine at any given point where the game would be. That sounds really easy, right? If I'm walking here and I need to roll back a couple frames because the character stops walking, just put the character back here. It's simple. But that would only work if the game was deterministic. And determinism is this idea of all actions, all events being something that we can't avoid. The idea of determinism as a whole can include free will or deny free will. But the game will always know where we would be if we know what state we were in, what we changed to, how many frames passed or how much time passed, and some other information. So non-deterministic is what Unreal Engine is, and a lot of different game engines are. There's several reasons for this, one of the major ones being something like physics calculations, movement calculations, collision calculations. A fantastic example of this is with our character's movement. So by default, the character in Unreal uses acceleration. So as I start walking, it takes a little bit of time for me to get up to speed before I'm achieving my max walk speed. Now typically this looks great. It looks and feels more natural than just starting the character at a given speed in most games and most situations. But let's make this really dramatic. Let's go to our mutant BP here, and I'll go to my character movement component, and we will change the max acceleration to 100. You'll see that we are able to move, And we start off really slow, and then eventually we start picking up the pace. That right there is non-deterministic movement. Now, if you had a fixed time step, meaning you always know that a frame is this amount of time, you could work back and figure it out. If it wasn't for other issues like floating point inaccuracies that we're not going to talk about just yet. But Unreal by default does not use a fixed step update. Putting the character back in the correct spot when you're not guaranteed frames at the same time is not really possible. This is just one tiny example. There's lots of examples of why this is the case. Now I have Paint open so that we can go through some, not just looking at the characters, but also trying to understand it as a concept here. So we can split this in half and make a little diagram here. We have Unreal, we'll say UE, Unreal Engine, and Rollback. With Unreal, we have non-deterministic physics. And with Rollback, it requires determinism. So non-deterministic is that unfixed tick that we were talking about. Or unfixed update. Rollback requires a fixed tick or fixed update. What this means is if we want to use Rollback Netcode with Unreal Engine, we can't use the character movement component, and that means we can't use a lot of physics. MC, not for main character, but character movement component, or CMC. And with Rollback, we need a custom MC, or really just custom movement. It doesn't have to be custom movement component, but we need a way to handle movement. And it's not just the movement components, it's really most of physics in Unreal, because physics is non-deterministic in Unreal. So it has the built-in physics, but for Rollback we'll need custom physics. And because of these two things, the character movement component and the physics, collisions are also going to be very messed up. So you have your built-in collisions in Unreal. You can use them for things, but you can't rely on them for a lot of things because a lot of them rely on physics and the character movement component. So that means we also need custom collisions. And there's more than this list as well. I'm just listing off a few. But these are some of the major players. And for those of you that may know about custom collisions, we'll be using AABBs for this in the fighting game series. Custom version that we make, it's just axis aligned bounding box. It's a pretty fancy term. Basically, we're just going to define our own collision and handle things like movement, forcing characters out or away from each other when they collide, and things like that. So we'll be covering all of these topics in our series for our fighting game when we implement Rollback Netcode. I just wanted to give a generic example of what you could expect to see. Some of the main topics, the heavy hitters, there will be more. And there will be lots of testing and just netcode and networking in general. But now I would like to give an example here instead of looking at the characters in the game, because I think that could also be useful as a diagram or as a reference point. So let's say we have this circle and this is character 1, and then we have this circle and this is character 2. And we'll make a few different boxes here. It's kind of like a comic. So this is frame 1. The characters are just standing still. All right, now let's make another box here. Let's say this character has moved over. This character is, I'm going to place him a little bit more to the right, and he's also got an arrow because he's still moving right. And we're going to say no lag. So right now, the game is receiving packets from this player, and the character is moving as expected. Now for this one, we're going to have lag. And let's just call this rollback. Explained. So when we get lag down here, if the character was still moving on the last frame, the last time the data was processed with rollback, it's going to keep moving the character this direction. And you can see it is here, right? We've received lag, which means we haven't received the packets that we needed to process all the information. But we know that the character was here last time, and now they're a little bit closer. If that's not easy to see in the diagram, I can move them a little bit closer just so that we're on the same page. So let's put them pretty much up next to each other, but he's still moving this direction. Now we have two different scenarios. So this one is going to be prediction. Correct. So if the prediction is correct, it's just going to be a copy of what we saw here. You can literally copy this and paste it and put it here. If the prediction was correct, then we don't have to do anything. The game doesn't have to do anything. It predicted correctly, so where the characters are at in the game is where they really should be. The player won't notice anything because nothing had to change. Very, very smooth. Now, instead of going down, because I was doing this sequentially, I'm going to put this over here. This is another choice that we have. This is prediction incorrect. If the prediction was incorrect, we have to figure out why. So we'll say prediction was incorrect because the player had jumped. Instead of just moving forward, they actually jumped into the air. And the game is going to roll back, and it's going to snap the character up here where they should be. We're going to skip some frames to get to the proper frame here. We're going to lose a few jump animation frames, but the character will be in the right spot because we rolled back and figured out where the character actually should be. And we can do that thanks to our determinism. It's also important to note that in this, player inputs are processed immediately for both server and client, so it doesn't feel like there's a delay when they're pressing inputs, which makes it smooth for both players. When this player pressed the jump input and their character jumped, they saw that immediately, but the client was the one that had to skip a few frames to line up with where the character actually was based on their inputs. As an added bonus in here, I talked about floating point inaccuracies earlier in the episode. So you probably know floating points. Floating points or floating point numbers are basically just floats, right? They're decimals. So we could have a number like 3.24. And actually, let's just title this section. So we have 3.24, like I said. So this is a float, 2 decimal places. Floats can only store so much information. So even if you let them go out to as many decimal places as they can only hold so much, just as every other data type. So at some point, floats have to be rounded. Say my number is 3.2445999, repeating, right? I know you can use the symbol for repeating, but I'm making a point here. This could go on for a very long time, possibly forever. Now the float will cut it off and round to whatever the appropriate value is with the most precision that it can or that we tell it to. We can override it and say don't care about precision up to a certain decimal place, but if you let it go and just let it do its thing, it will still have to cut it off at some point. Let's just say this number is here. All these other numbers get erased and this gets rounded. This difference is very small and typically won't make any difference. However, if you're doing lots of calculations with this number, lots of operations, you're losing more and more accuracy on your float. For rollback to work, it needs to be deterministic. We can give a very easy example of this. Just call this float example. And I am going to make it pretty dramatic, but this is a possible reality here. So say we have a float of 5.7. Now let's say we add to it a float of 2.0. We get 7.7. This could be anything, but say this is the distance that we should have moved after our last update. 7.7 centimeters or 7.7 feet or meters or whatever unit you want to use. Now, say with floating point error, we have 5.75 plus 2.1. The new number is 7.85. And you might think, well, those numbers aren't really that different, and you're right. Relatively speaking, these numbers seem pretty similar. But when the utmost precision is required, this change can be huge. If we now move the character to 7.85 centimeters to the right compared to 7.7 centimeters to the right, they're in a completely different spot. This could determine if they get hit by a hitbox, if the opponent hits them with an attack. This could determine if they're colliding with something or not. So with rollback, when we're trying to determine things like where we need to move the character to if we're going backward, these numbers are not going to line up, and that's not deterministic. That means one time I do it, I might roll back, and I'm in a different spot than another time. That means my rollback failed. I can't actually do that. This would lead to desynchronization, or what you typically call desync. The players are going to be in completely different states or different places, and that's not going to be good for online play at all. It ruins the validity of rollback, and even worse than that, it will have undefined consequences. So hopefully that makes sense as to why determinism is important. So we are tackling rollback netcode in our fighting game tutorial series. I want to give a quick demonstration and explanation of what rollback is, because it's very important to know what it is if we need to implement it. If you don't need to implement it, you can use regular online multiplayer. But for fighting games in particular, rollback netcode really shines and solves a lot of problems that came up with different types of networking, and it gets rid of the hassle that comes with delay-based netcode. So I hope you guys learned something about rollback today, and if you did, please subscribe and consider checking out the Patreon, YouTube membership, or Discord subscriptions to help support the channel. I really appreciate all who have, and I'm really grateful for you. Thanks, guys. If you had any other questions about rollback or anything I covered in this video, or you just want to know about the different series that we have and what we're working on, feel free to join the Discord community. There's a link in the description, and I'd be happy to help you out. Anyway, guys, that's all I got, so thank you so much for watching. I'm Shawnthebro, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.